So Clutch Point posted this article about one last minute trade the Cincinnati Bengals need to make before the regular season begins. And unlike Bleacher Report, which was idiotic and just crazy, saying we should trade away L. Collins when our offensive line depth is actually really bad, they actually make a solid point, which is we need to upgrade our offensive line depth. So here's what they have to say about this. Starting off right away, the guy that they think we should trade for is a veteran right tackle, Rob Havenstein. Now, Rob Havenstein is a right tackle for the LA Rams, and he has played his whole entire career with the Rams, as you can see. He's 31 going into this year, and as I always say, offensive linemen they age like fine wine, right? The older they get, the better they are. So, I really am not against this concept of going out there and getting a veteran right tackle. The only problem I would say is really a couple things. Number one is going to be the price tag of what we'd have to trade to get him, because obviously, this is their starting right tackle, but they do make a good point in this article that, the Rams are coming off an awful season and they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to, change up everything. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey. They're probably going to get rid of Aaron Donald. They're just getting rid of everything and rebuilding. So it's very possible that with that being said, it's almost like a garage sale. You could maybe get Rob Havenstein for pretty cheap. And if you can get him for pretty cheap, you bring him in and have him as, let's say, your backup right tackle. Or again, if Collins right now is injured, you put him in as the backup right tackle for the first 6 weeks of the season. And let's say, for example, Collins comes back, he's healthy. Okay, then you can move Collins to a different position, Jonah to a different position, or whatever. You had the flexibility throughout the season to do that. And then if you go to the postseason and there is an injury or problem, well, now you have your backup, your depth to be able to kind of fix that problem. So it's not a horrendous idea. It's not a bad idea by any stretch of imagination. Again, it really comes down to price tag. And if the Rams are willing to trade him for a decent price tag, then maybe I consider it. But again, it is one of those things where, especially because let's actually look at this real fast. Cap calculator. Before we get into the trade and what the trade would look like, the most important thing to look at is the price tag that he costs and what contract he has. So where is, not the Bengals, I don't know why I clicked on Bengals. We're trying to go for the LA Rams. Rams. Why can I not find the Rams? Hold up. I know they're like a special color. Wait, hold up. Why can I not find the LA Rams? Los Angeles Chargers, Los Angeles Rams. Okay, I was fighting demons right there, guys. I apologize. But Rob Havenstein is a $9.7 million cap hit. That's going to be a problem. Now, he is under contract until 2027. Sorry, 2025. So he has 2 years left on his contract. These two are voidable years. Keep that in mind. So he has 2 years left on his contract. Actually, no, wait. 3 years technically, because 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 years left on his contract. He's going to be $9 million, 14.7, and then 11. That's expensive. So the only way I would see that trade going through, again, depending on the price tag of trading him, would be, first off, how much the Rams would have to cover some of that money, okay? The Rams would have to cover at least 10%, 15% of that contract. And that's not really crazy to say, by the way. There are teams out there who do that. I believe when they traded Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys, the Texans are still paying part of his contract. And I think Allen Robinson's the same thing. So it's not crazy to say that, the Rams would be paying part of his contract. But let's say, for example, a trade post-June 1st, they would be saving money by trading him away. So they'd be saving around 6.5. Actually, no, after the fees here, they'll be saving around $3.3 million. This year, they'd be saving around $8 million next year, $2 million a year after that, and then they would actually be losing money for the voidable years because that's just guaranteed money, whatever. So they would be saving it. They would be, so that might lower the price tag a tad bit, right, on what he would cost. But again, we would still have to take on a huge cap hit. And I just don't think it's going to be worth it then. Because as a backup, again, he's not going to be a starter. There's really no reason to put that much cap hit on us when we're trying to sign Joe Burrow, giving T an extension, Jamar Chase, Cheeto needs money. Like, there's a whole list of things that we're trying to prioritize, and it just probably wouldn't work out. Now, there is the system, and I know I'm going to get the question down below. Well, what about trading Jonah Williams? Because Jonah Williams is a $12.6 million cap hit right now. So why don't you just go ahead and trade Jonah Williams for Havenstein, right? Wouldn't that work out in the end? Because then it would only cost us $7 million. We would actually even out. Here's the problem, right? Jonah has looked really good at right tackle throughout preseason and throughout training camp. He knows our offense. He knows what he's doing. This is a guy who really has shown off and proved that he can be a right tackle for this team. Now, again, I'm not saying 1,000% he's untradeable, but what I'm saying is to bringing now a new right tackle who's never played in our system, who's never played under Brian Callahan, to now have to learn all that within a week before we're about to play the season would be very tough. And if you know one thing from last season, the Rams were not good on their offensive line. There's a reason why the Rams, Stafford got hurt. And a lot of the reason why was because of the right tackle being a problem, right? So I don't really know the true eliteness of Rob Havenstein here, where it's literally just bringing a veteran in, seeing how he can play, and I'm okay with that. But if you're going to do that, you're not going to give up that much of a pick. You're not going to give up that much value because you're not going out there to get a guy you know is going to be a starter. Jonah is a starter for us. It is what it is. Now, here's a funny thing, right? We could trade Jonah Williams for another player on their roster. And you know who that is? Let me go down the list here. Jonah Williams. Jonah for Jonah. No, I'm just kidding on that one. But on a real note, though, I did not realize they had Jonah Williams also on their roster. So I needed to just make that joke for the craps and giggles. I have no idea. And again, like I said, yeah, this is, by the way, the D tackle, Jonah Williams. Why did no one tell me this? The amount of times he's been in the league, he's 28 years old. Hang on. Where's Jonah? Where's big boy Jonah? He's 26, so he actually joined the league 2 years before Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams joined the league 2 years before Jonah Williams joined the league. Say that like 20 times fast. But yeah, no. On the real note, though, I don't see how this would work out in the end, right? Because, again, this is not a situation where you would trade and get a backup. Again, maybe if he does become a starter, you have competition. But you already went through that whole process. If you're making this trade, I would have made this trade before the preseason started. I would have made this trade in July, right? If you're going to make this trade. Because then you have the whole preseason to see what you have, what you don't have, right? Because at this moment in time, and again, I wouldn't have traded Jonah Williams for him. I would have traded, at best, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not trading anything more than the fifth for him. There's just no point. There's just no point with the contract you're taking on, with the money it's going to cost you. It's not worth it at the end of the day, right? You got Collins, he'll come back from injury. You got Jonah at right tackle. It just isn't smart to go out there now and put some other players out there, or try to get someone else that really is just going to be a cap casualty. Right? The only way possible is if you trade Jonah, but then again, I'd rather have Jonah. I'd rather have someone I know is a good player in this offense. So this is my personal opinion. Again, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. And would you make this trade? What if they traded Jonah and Jonah? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.